brake hoses, wiper blades, center carrier bearing, air filter, water pump, spark plug wires, distributor cap, rotor, ignition coil. It says it needs a resistor. We'll find out. Water pump, points, spark plugs, oil filters, 2. I already said brake lines. Already said fuel pump, but there's another one for whatever reason. That's for Genevieve. Inline 6 head gasket. She's a big baby. And the exhaust manifold, intake manifold gasket. Some little rubber pieces there. And the valve cover. Cool. This is going to be fun. There are 2 different styles of cap. Because I wanted this order to be here when I ordered both. And I'll return the one that is unused. And we're off.
David, come here, please! Where's David? David?
Seriously, though, you could build an Earth ship with all these bottles.
What's your point, David?
She wants it.
Mom likes this color.
Mom wants this Volvo.
So it begins. Prius is filling up rather quickly. Boxes of oils, fluids, cleaners, brushes, and in the very back, a heater, some long socks. I gotta go to Goodwill real quick, get a jacket, something I can trash in the next couple of days.
Ew, no, David.
And then we get to see the car. Plugged in. Okay, let's go look at the car and pay Soren.
Soon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Is this the new project?
This is the new project. It's been sitting almost 30 years. When I was shopping for new tires, because this thing desperately needs them, there was a $66 option, the Nankang brand. They're the only ones that were available with a mileage warranty, which means if they wear out prematurely, there was a free replacement. I always go to Discount Tire or America's Tire for all my stuff, but these, if they're good enough for Soren's truck here, the Thunder Pig, then they're good enough for me. Let's take a look at the car now, finally. Wow, first time I get my hands on it. It has been repainted. It's not supposed to be this metallic green. This almost looks like the aqua, the blue-green metallic that was in the 73, 74, 75 years, but the early ones are just solid green. Now we'll see what it's like. The 164s do have the new bolt pattern. They're not using the 114.3, but they're using the 5x108s. And it looks like all the seats match because they have been, I guess, replaced. The upholstery coat is supposed to be this beige plastic covered fabric. That's what the tag said on the. This is exciting. Oi! Soren strapped that door shut because he said the latch wasn't working. I think they're 5-inch wide on these steelies. And I was curious what was behind these because they are flat, and I'm hoping the other one's in the trunk, but it looks like that's where the horn lives. Couldn't be sure in the photos if I was looking at a horn or a auxiliary light. Oh boy, looks like we got a replacement mirror next to the old one. Somebody didn't want to take off the door panel. Okay. Wow. So if you look in here at the door jamb, you can see kind of the original shade of green. Wow, it's really coming off though. But that's kind of that's just standard, what I would call British racing green. This is somebody's aftermarket job. It seems to be the best spot for speakers anywhere front of the window because the mechanism's going to be in the way. The lower half of the dash is out. Shift tunnel's in the rear, just like the P1800s, the 140s. I mean, this is essentially a 140, so you don't need it getting all comparative. But there's the peeling faux wood trim, the grain that's applied over the aluminum. Aha! I'm not going to be messing with any of the cosmetics right now. I'm going to do a very thorough cleaning. I'm going to put these seals back in place after I scrub them down. Vacuum it all out, see how much of the carpet is intact, see what the floors look like. They did say there was a convenient front adjustment on the seat. Look at this lever. Huh. The 240s have them tucked away, but this seat frame is very much like the Amazon. I don't have a lot of frame of reference for the 140 series, so. Windshield does have a nice crack through the center of it there. That's not good. Whee. Okay, as long as those hinges aren't breaking on me. I'd rather have them be dirty than dry. Cool. Blue upholstery, how about that? headliner is there, but it's not great. I'm gonna probably just tape it up on the edges. Look at this foam padding underneath. I wonder if that helps to keep the noise down, or if it was just to give the headliner something to stretch over. Okay, that feels like it's still connected. Yeah, before I touch anything, it's gonna be like an excavation of old fossils. I'm gonna be taking a little brush and just dusting them all off. Okay, let's have a look in the trunk. Now, these were a clear plastic that just fades over time. The same thing around the taillights. Funny enough, this doesn't fade. So whatever they were using, just a different type altogether. Somebody has painted this on one of their 140s that I saw at a Cars and Coffee last month, so I actually like that idea. And I might do it. It'll spruce it up very easily. It's faded yellow, bit of an eyesore. Valencia campus UNM student parking permit. I like this kind of stuff. It's like the time capsule. Let's see if this stays up. Oh, almost. The left side is disconnected, so it may just stay up if I get that replaced. Even metallic inside. This is what the car color would have been originally. I don't know what happened here. Maybe somebody jumped on the trunk. Yeah, it's low on this spot, so somebody must have jumped on the trunk and dented that. Here's our center console with the glove box. Let's see if there's any goodies in here. No, but you see the exposed wood. How about that? Let's see when this car was last inside. If the coins are any indication, 1994 was the last time somebody was using that. Okay, we got a fuel pump. Looks like the old Pierberg style. It's funny, one of these is on eBay. The guy just says 164. It doesn't name what the part is, and I really don't know what it is either. How big is that bird? Got hubcaps. And you know what? They're not terrible. These will shine up nicely. There's no beauty rings on the wheels, are there? No chrome. Nope. And moving on over here, the butt cheeks. A little bit of rust on this one. That'll get muddy and compacted. I'll show that. There you can see some of the floor in this butt cheek. There's also rear speakers. Looks like 3 of them. The center one might be the original Volvo. It certainly looks like it. And then these other 2 on the sides, aftermarket, of course. So the story goes that this thing has been running and driving up until it was parked, and then they forgot about it after Dave, the owner, his wife, graduated from university. That's what they told me. So it'll be cool to see. And if we can see the registration tag, it's September 90 something, 4 or 5. I have to get at the right angle to see it. I don't know what the purpose of a frame like this is, or even me commenting on it. Now let's have a look underneath. See what that's like. Kind of a moment of truth to see if we've got rust or not. Also, another thing, why not have it painted black between each letter? I think that would help it pop out a little bit more. Okay, I'm glad the red lenses are in place. It's so funny how much this looks like a Jag in the front. It's even the turn indicators. Alright. Well, one of the comments said to watch out for the shock absorber bolts on the bottom. They might get loose. And this thing looks like it's covered in oil, which is what I'd rather have than it be completely dry, because the oil does kind of create another barrier for rust to form. Nice big pipe on the rear too. The muffler might be wholly on either side, we'll find out. Should have disc brakes everywhere. Yeah, not much to see, but at least I see a floor, and that's really promising. Love that badge. Oh, I'm so glad we have this original style badge. Anyway, what I want to accomplish today is just a nice cleaning on it. Vacuum it, inventory all the parts, find out what's going on. Interesting shifter, that's aftermarket, having that big lock nut under it, perhaps. I don't know, I'm learning as I go along. The radio's out, they must have liked it. Okay, I'm going to pass this over to you as I scan the dashboard. This is, oh, somebody called it like, what was it, a terracotta dash or something, where it just became so broken up, like pieces of mud in the desert where they become plates. Yeah, or like flagstone. This is gonna be a lot of fun for me. I'm actually quite excited. I'm pleased that the front and back seats match. That at least helps me keep it off my mind a little bit longer. I'm not going to be doing a big restoration on it. I just want something to drive and I'll find pieces as they come, which will, you know, a little bit here and there. There's no reason to spend a whole bunch of money on it. I'm going to sell the Prius and that'll fund most of this. All this paperwork, I'm going to go through and just see what dates we have for things. Make sure 1988, another penny. Yeah, so it looks like mid-90s. So 95 is about 25 years ago, isn't it? Yeah. Why don't we have a look under the rubber mat here? Yeah, just like the 240s, there's an aluminum plate that covers some of the, I think, wiring that might have to run to the rear. But the floor looks pretty intact. I'm pleased. Now our next challenge is to find a set of wheels so that this thing can roll around. Nick's got them, but if Soren does, he's a little bit closer, so let's hope we get lucky with that. Being a new dad, right now he's enjoying a little bit of sleep while the baby is too, so we might have to wait some time, but let's poke around a little more. Got it. Also, they talked about having infinite adjustability on the rears. So if you've got a 122 and you want reclining seats, you don't have to just go to the GT. The GT model had the Recaro mechanisms. You can get a 164 seat and it looks like it'll swap over, yeah, if you don't mind a different pattern. It doesn't ratchet, it just you just sort of tighten on the end. That's interesting to me. Yeah, I want to be real ginger with everything. This should be the nicer blue color. I don't think that any of this is going to be leather. Think these might be worth something. Marv Cook and Alonzo Mitz. Any football guys out there? Polished stainless bumper. It's not chrome. It is pitted in a few spots and the rubber is sagging here and there. Kind of want it to just be all shiny and not worry about a rubber, but yeah, that's the way God and Volvo intended. Oh, we didn't look under the hood. Let's see what luck we have. I'm just glad it's complete. Okay, so that's what that chrome piece was. It's this, and then the turn signal is covered by it. I would like to have a little Volvo emblem here that sticks up, because maybe I want constant reassurance. This is actually going to shine up really well, but it's funny, all the scuff marks that have happened over the years. Alright. Good old spring hinges. Okay, a little wobbly there, but she's intact. Yeah. This looks daunting to anybody, but I just see potential. David Hunt with the P1900, he is just as equally optimistic as I am, and he sent me a nice long list of parts to buy, fluids to change, specifications on the car. These are dual Stromberg 175 CD2s, and the B20A, which was that kind of low output Amazon engine, and I think early 240s. Any single carburetor Amazon would be, I think some had an SU, but most of them are going to be the Strombergs. So the fact that we've got only 2 cylinders more with an extra carb, it's telling me that those are adequate. Triple Webers on this thing would sound really good. They do on other YouTube videos, but that's a lot of effort for another time. This isn't really a car that's suited for that kind of modification. It's just going to be a lot of cleaning and a lot of maintaining and mostly a lot of learning and storytelling. So that's what I'm more interested in. What I like about it is I'm so familiar with the B18 and the B20 that this is really not that different. The parts are all different, unfortunately. Some things are similar, the fuel pumps, the front and rear main seal, but when you get to the timing cover gasket, of course the valve cover gaskets, the water pump, that's going to be all different for this engine, even though they might look very similar. These all had alternators because now we're into the late 60s going into the 70s, so we can get them. The early ones were 35 amp. I think later they went to 50 amp. I think this one's internally regulated. Nope, there's the external regulator here. I think you can still get those parts. My biggest concerns for some of the systems, I have new rubber hoses for the brakes, but I don't have, I didn't order a replacement master cylinder. Thankfully the fluid's still in there. So I'm gonna just really flush out every system. I'm glad to see that there is a resistor up there by the ignition coil, because the new one I have requires a resistor, but I didn't know what to rate it at, so that'll be good, save me a little bit of diagnostics. And the one thing that is missing that I was hoping to find on here is air conditioning. The AC compressors, the giant York, I think that they were using the York ones here, and the hoses are disconnected. You can see them running down into the firewall and then right into the little blower motor up there. So it's a few months until I need it, but I would like to have AC eventually. The radiator hoses I've got, so radiator does not look great. Well, let's hope it holds water. That'll be a tricky drive back if I don't have a radiator available. But, you know, the sooner I discover what I need, the sooner I can place another order. VP Auto Parts will have it at my house in probably 4 or 5 days, so I'll have a lot of things I can work on in the meantime. Now, I do want to see this number here. I do know that chassis number 5356, there were only 6,000 of these that made it to the US in the first year for 1969. Some parts catalogs have this starting at 1968, but that's because they were manufacturing them in 68. But this is chassis number 5356, so it's really early on. And I want to see what this one here says. These number plates sometimes are different. We see that a lot on the 122s, but that's chassis number 4051 down there. So it begins one place in the assembly line. It could make its way over and then get numbered differently based on maybe the options that they had to put on. I'm not an expert on that, but I had read about it in the past as to why these don't match up. It seems to be a normal occurrence. Well, I think that's enough chatter. I've got an idea of what's ahead of me, so we'll just get going on it. I'll put in the video the decoder for this number, but it's the 164 series, and then 1441 denotates the market, left-hand drive or right-hand drive, and I think some of the specialty models, if it was anything specific. 94 is just standard green. Upholstery, 903-589, that's the beige plastic-covered vinyl, or I'm sorry, plastic-covered fabric. That's what the Swedes called vinyl. And then at the very bottom, the S number is S5356, S for 1969. I think T, and then it goes up from there for the following years. That's all there is to this tag. There's actually supposed to be a tag here on the door. Let's actually do the passenger door. It might be there. It says Swedish Auto Club. How fun. It's part of the history. I'm going to read the number 164-1441-003776. It's not the same as any of these numbers. Still got some learning to do, why or how they're supposed to match, if at all. Let's talk about the carburetors a little bit. The Zenith Stromberg has a little bit more intricacy than an SU. SU is like 3 moving parts. You've got the piston that moves up and down based on the velocity of air. You've got the needle that can be adjusted, or the jet at the bottom in its relationship to the needle. The Stromberg is similar in many ways, and at first glance they do kind of look the same, but there is a rubber diaphragm in the top, and there's a plastic, quite broken plastic bit on the side here, so this one's going to need some replacement parts if I want to have any hope of starting these up. So wasn't sure what to order before, and now I am. So when I do wash the engine, I will probably cover the carburetors and cover the air filter, or just remove them so that I can scrub all around, and I want to get all this dirt out of here. Thankfully it's sat with the hood closed, but that also invites a lot of rodents, a lot of spiders, as we see. And this is just mostly cotton from the cottonwood trees that grow around the Rio Grande Valley, and those are just getting in the way. It looks like a rat's nest, but I don't see any indication of really rats enjoying this. They might not have a taste for Swedish steel. I think that's it. This is the double triangle brake system. which means the front calipers are each getting 2 brake hoses, and then the rear is split. So it'll be both wheels on the front and the rear right. That's one triangle, and then both wheels on the front again and the rear left. So the thinking behind that is, in the world of safety engineering that Volvo was going toward, they wanted you to have the option to still stop the car if you have a brake line that's cut or a failure on any of the components. So each one of those front brake lines is going to be affecting, I think, 2 pistons. I think there's 2 on either side, or maybe just 1 on either side. We'll see as we get into the inspection and I get the wheels off. The manual, or one of the brochures that I found online, I didn't have to buy it because people take nice photos on eBay, so I can just read the sales brochures. It said that they had to install a failure sensor light right here. If you see this junction in the middle is the sensor. Thankfully I don't have to replace that junction, or at least I hope I don't, because that is a like $90 piece of machined brass. But they said you'll never notice that much if you have a one-side circuit failure, so we had to install the light to tell you if that's the case. So essentially, as the pressure changes between 1 or 2, it'll trigger the light inside of there. That's going to be metered. So yeah, cool. I really think that's it now, for realsies. How was it getting the car here?
It wasn't bad. It caught me getting on the trailer, you know, because the tires are completely disintegrated, but it got on the trailer okay. Had to do some tricky stuff to get it on there straight.
I can imagine, because every time it rolls over the rubber, it like shifts.
Like it was going up, and then the rubber would chunk one side and then toss the ass end over.
Yeah.
And then keep doing that all the way
So
up.
are we gonna have any issue getting it rolled down here?
Oh, hey guys.
I think if someone's holding the wheel and someone's pushing, then at least if anything, there's a cat or a couch right there to stop it from going into the kitchen.
How's fatherhood?
It's quite the experience.
I bet.
Seeing Kelly and I's personality come out in a little human being is pretty magical. And then you're like, oh, that's so special. What you're doing there? That's totally me, or oh, that's totally Kelly, or oh, why you stop doing that? Why are you doing that? Oh, that's me.
While you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Josh wants a photo. Let's.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
I'm smiling still. You can't
I'm
even
sorry.
tell.
Yeah, I'm smiling.
That's okay. Give me a few minutes to see how it comes out, and I'll take a second.
It's in
That's
the
a
eyes.
fancy Polaroid.
Here.
Oh. And you get extra keys.
Oh, I've never received this many keys. I'm lucky to get at least one, but this is a real treat. I've got somebody's like house key, it looks like.
House key, other
Oh,
truck
boy.
key, secondary truck key.
Wow, a book for the 164 specifically.
Yup.
Excellent. Which way do you flip the pages is what I want to know. Very cool. Oh, this is a big help. Yes, yes, and yes. Bye, Josh. Have a safe drive.
Where they head to?
We're going to Target.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right, so 69 Volvo 164. The VIN is exactly what it is right there on the door. And